The Grand Council chamber of Orcs' Prime stretched 3 kilometers in diameter, its crystalline walls refracting the light of 17 different suns from 17 different homeworlds. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the petitioner's platform, a speck of insignificance against the towering forms of the galaxy's elder races. Preposterous, thundered over Lord Crothax, his 4 mandibles clicking in amusement. The Zenthari warlord's exoskeleton gleamed under the chamber lights. Each played a testament to 1,000 conquered worlds. The humans propose a vote on military intervention, democracy in matters of war. His laughter rumbled like an avalanche, and the council joined him. High Arbiter Velinara of the Astral Communion allowed herself a melodious trill of mockery. Her species had been navigating the stars for 50,000 years before humanity had discovered fire. How delightfully naive. War is an art form, young species. It requires singular vision, not the bleeding consensus of the frightened masses. Sarah stood motionless, her dark eyes reflecting the sneering faces of beings who commanded armadas that could glass planets. The titanium briefcase in her hand felt impossibly heavy. The Devourers approached the Tala system, she said quietly, her voice somehow carrying through the vast chamber, despite not raising her volume. 2 billion talent children will die in the next standard cycle. You have the power to intervene. I'm asking no. Humanity is asking that this council put it to a vote among all member species. Let the galaxy decide if those children deserve to live. Chancellor Morpheus of the Silicon Concordance, a being of pure crystallized thought, pulsed with colors that translated to bitter amusement. We have calculated 17,000 possible outcomes of intervention. In 14,000, galactic stability collapses. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. This is mathematics, not morality. The Tala matter is regrettable, added Warprime Zenith, commander of the Obsidian Fleet. But we do not risk the established order for sentiment. Humanity has been part of this council for barely 2 centuries. You understand nothing of the delicate balance we maintain. The laughter built again. Wave upon wave of it, the powerful mocking the weak. The ancient dismissing the young Sarah opened the briefcase. Inside lay a simple device, its quantum communicator hardwired to a single destination. She pressed the activation stud. "Earth," she said. "Speak once." For a moment, nothing happened. Then every display screen in the council chamber flickered. Every holographic projection stuttered. The advanced technology of 17 elder civilizations suddenly found itself ... overridden ... a single image appeared. Broadcast simultaneously to every ship, every station, every planetary network in council space. It was Earth, that small blue marble, rotating serenely in the darkness. And then Earth spoke. But it wasn't a voice. It was data raw, unfiltered, overwhelming data. The council members watched as humanity's true face revealed itself. Not the diplomatic corps they'd been dealing with. Not the carefully curated image of a young species seeking guidance. This was humanity unmasked. Every weapon system humanity had developed in secret flashed before their eyes. The quantum disruptors that could unmake matter at the subatomic level. The gravitational lances that could collapse stars. The nanoplague warheads that made the Devourers look like a mild inconvenience. Specifications, deployment capabilities. Current operational status, armed, but it wasn't the weapons that made Overlord Crothax S4 hearts skip. It was the locations red dots appeared on the stellar map, thousands of them. Millions of them each, representing a human vessel, hidden in the dark spaces between stars. In the corona of suns, in the crushing depths of gas giants. They had been there for decades, invisible, patient, waiting. Every council homeworld had 17 human ships in orbit, not entering orbit. Already in orbit? How long had they been there? Chancellor Morpheus's consciousness reeled as human quantum computing architecture laid itself bare. Their processing power didn't just exceed the Silicon Concordance, it was orders of magnitude beyond, hidden behind deliberately primitive interfaces. The humans had been playing dumb. "This is impossible," Velinara whispered, her melodious voice cracking. "We've been monitoring your development. We've had observers. You've had exactly what we wanted you to have," Sarah interrupted, her voice still calm, still quiet. Did you really think a species that went from first flight to moon landing in 66 years wouldn't figure out FTL encryption? We've been reading your mail for a century, the data stream continued. Every council military secret humanity had stolen. Every backdoor they'd written into the approved technology they'd been given. Every assassination, every coup, every manipulation the council had orchestrated humanity had recordings, proof, documentation. War Prime Zenith's tactical implants were screaming warnings. His flagship's AI had just detected what it hadn't before. His own ship's reactor had been compromised. The humans had infiltrated the Obsidian fleet. They could trigger a cascade failure with a single signal. When had they? 17 years, 4 months ago, Sarah said, as if reading his thoughts. Perhaps she was. When we accidentally docked at the wrong port on Obsidian Prime, you thought it was incompetence? It was reconnaissance. She closed the briefcase. The data stream ended as abruptly as it had begun. The council chamber fell into absolute silence. Now, Sarah said, and her voice was no longer diplomatic. It carried the weight of 10 billion humans. All of them descended from survivors, from warriors. From stubborn apes who had clawed their way to the top of their food chain through sheer bloody-minded refusal to quit. Let me be clear about what happens next. You will vote on the Talon intervention. If the vote is no, humanity will intervene anyway, and you will watch. If you attempt to stop us, we will show you why Earth doesn't have apex predators anymore. We are the apex predator. She paused, letting that sink in. But here's what you're all missing. We don't want to be monsters. We want to be better. That's why we're asking for a vote. Not because we need your permission, we absolutely don't, but because we want you to choose to do the right thing. We want this council to be what it claims to be, not what it actually is. Overlord Crothax found his voice first. You would threaten the entire galactic order for 2 billion children? Yes. Sarah's eyes were hard as diamonds. Every single time. Without hesitation, that's what humans do. We don't calculate acceptable losses. We don't sacrifice the few for the many. We find a third option, or we make one, or we die trying. She turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and one more thing. Every species in this galaxy is receiving this same data dump. Not just council members, everyone. Every client race you've suppressed, every vassal state you've exploited, every pre-FTL civilization you've been observing. They're all watching this right now. So when you vote, remember, the galaxy is watching. And so are we. Ambassador Sarah Chen walked out of the Grand Council chamber. Behind her, 17 most powerful beings in the known galaxy sat in stunned silence. The vote was held. 6 hours later, it was unanimous. The Talon children lived.